What's up? Welcome back into another video here on the FanTC YouTube channel. Day two of 45 days of mock draft. Happy holiday season. We are getting right back into it here with another sleeper mock draft. This time we're going to be drafting out of the four position. We are going to keep everything very similar to how it was in day one. If you did happen to check out the day one video, I apologize. Your boy forgot to unclick the chime and that was extremely annoying through the whole draft. So for those who checked out the video and were able to make it through it, I appreciate that. That was rough whenever I was going back rewatching and had to keep hearing that ding. So I apologize on that front. But just to double check here, we are going into part two of 45 days of drafts, half PPR, 12 teams. All of that is good. Update that so it saves the name. All right, and then the roster is going to stay the same as well. We will do a couple of super flex. We'll do a couple of two QB drafts along the way, but for these first two, we're just going to keep it pretty short, keep it pretty simple here. Let's go ahead and get this mock draft started. All right, CMC, Cooper Cup, Justin Jefferson off the board. In my mind, those are the top three guys, so I am in no surprise that those would go off the board in that order. Of who we have left, Jamar Chase is obviously a guy that's going to be sticking out. Austin Eckler, a guy that's going to be sticking out. But for me, in this position, if I'm at number four, I'm going to go Tyreek Hill this year. And it's a little bit above his average draft position, but really, I think we got a top three in Cup, Jefferson, and McCaffrey. And then once we get down to like 4 through 7, you see the guys there: Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Austin Eckler, Jamar Chase are the guys that you're looking at in that category. Then we have JT, Brian Robinson. Ooh, Team 9. Not Brian Robinson. I'm an idiot. Bijan Robinson and Nick Chubb. I love that combo. Saquon and Jacobs, love that combo. Diggs and Mahomes. See, that's one of those weird things for me. Like, if you're just going to reach on a quarterback that early, just go Diggs, Allen. Like, just complete the stack. CD, AJ Brown. Oh, that's a deadly wide receiver room. Jamar Chase, Amon Ra, Travis Kelce, Garrett Wilson. A lot of really good teams here so far. So, really, what I'm going to be looking at here in drafts is I can't go Jalen Waddle. Obviously, I already have Tyreek Hill, unless I maybe some specific underdog drafts like best ball style, you can take that kind of risk and just stack a Tua and hope that those three go off any given week in like their new weekly winners draft. But as far as this situation, we can't stack two of the same wide receivers. I don't want to go a quarterback yet because I really want to get Mark Andrews right here, and I don't want to go for two high quarterbacks. I went Tony Pollard in the last draft. I did not mind how that turned out, but another guy I'm extremely high on that I like quite a bit is Ramondre Stevenson. I'm going to build him as my RB1, and I'm going to see what my team looks like with him. I think that I can build a pretty solid team around Ramondre, but let's wait and find out. All right, so we had everything fall exactly as we want to. This is an auto selection of Mark Andrews for me. Jalen, the quarterbacks, T, Devontae, Brees Hall, no surprise those guys go. Tony Pollard goes next. I love the team Team 5 is building as well. If you don't mind, spending a first round on Kelsey, which if I have Pollard and Garrett Wilson as my 2 and 3, I really don't mind. And then Joe Mixon in the fourth round. That is a pretty solid draft so far. Olave's off the board, Etienne, Walker, Burrow. Another draft where Burrow is going well ahead of Lamar Jackson. I will not understand that. Honestly, if Lamar would have fallen two more spots, I probably would have just stacked Andrews and Lamar and the 3-4. I don't like to do that, but unless you're getting a very high level stack, which I think Jackson and Andrews can definitely be this year. Hawkinson's off the board. I think Hawkinson's really good. I don't necessarily love him that much as an earlier tight end. I think Andrews and Kelsey are still the clear top two. I know Hawkinson had a pretty good end there in Minnesota, but they didn't really have a true wide receiver two that like they're going to have this year. And I just don't know if he's going to get the same volume that he had at the end of last year. So looking here, D Hop would be very interesting to me if I knew who his quarterback was going to be, what his situation was going to be. I imagine if he goes to a good situation, he's probably not making it this far. He's probably going after the young guys, probably before like a Keenan Allen, maybe a DK or Calvin Ridley. So realistically, I don't think he's going to be in this position come draft season. So I'm going to act like D Hop is not there. Amari's being a little bit disrespected. I think Amari Cooper could be perfectly fine. He's also a guy that you could potentially look to stack later with his quarterback. Um, you got Terry. I love Terry. I drafted him last time, but I like him more down here towards the turn. In my opinion, I think Amari Cooper just still has a little bit more of an edge, and really it just comes down to the quarterback. I mean, say what you want about Deshaun Watson. Obviously, he's a terrible fucking human being. No one's going to try and defend him there. But if the guy can get back to 80% of what he was before, I mean, he's most likely going to provide value for fantasy, which sucks in some regards, but, you got to kind of. I don't know. I'm just going to cut off there. I don't really even know what to say about the situation. We're going Miles Sanders with that pick. If I get Miles Sanders around the fifth round, any of my drafts, it's going to be an auto selection for me. I love the amount of volume that he's looking to get in Carolina. They're really going to be relying on him to help out with a young quarterback. So, same thing, like I said in day one. I was seeing a lot of times where James Conner and Madison were falling back towards the 6-7 turn. Seems like that's kind of gone away. I know they almost made it back to me here, but they are clearly going up a little bit in ADP, and they are going more towards the 5-6 turn for those guys on that end. So right now we are looking at Ramondre and Miles Sanders, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Mark Andrews. Pretty stout offense so far, or team. I don't know why I said offense. Pretty stout team so far with Hill and Cooper. See, I want to take a swing, but I don't want to take the swing on Mike Williams again. I was really high on Mike Williams last year. It could be one of those things where I was so high on him last year that I have such a bad taste in my mouth that I don't want to go down that road. Javante is interesting. I know I'm going to have another pick. I'm honestly probably looking at Traylon with my next pick, so I'm going to go risky. We've had some positive news come out about Javante Williams recently. They said it looks like he's going to be there for week one. If that's the case, in my honest opinion, I think he's a valuable fantasy asset, especially all the way down here in the sixth round. The Sean Payton running backs are amazing for fantasy football, and so this is really where I would love to take the shot on him here. I mean, if it doesn't pan out, does that suck? Absolutely, you kind of wasted a draft pick. But at the same time, it's it's a 6 round pick. Like at this point, there's a couple of these guys: Godwin, Brown, Ayuk. Like all these guys have question marks surrounding them. So I'm gonna just try and get the guy that could be a league winner for me out of the guys with question marks. And same thing here with this one as well. I'm going to go Treylon Burks for the same situation. Now, his quarterback situation is a little bit questionable, obviously, between Will Levis and Ryan Tannehill. You'd assume Ryan Tannehill is the week one starter, but how soon does it go over to Levis? Like, those are always going to be questions. But I think he showed last year he could be a true wide receiver one. A lot of positive things coming out of camp for him. So he was my 7th-round pick. So I keep saying so much, so I apologize on that part. But we are going into our 8-9 turn here. We have basically our starting lineup filled out besides the QB. We got Ramondre, Miles Sanders, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Mark Andrews, Javante Williams, Treylon Burks. A lot of upside on that roster. And I think with a roster with this much upside, I think I'm just going to keep building it that way. I was leaning Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston just looks so freaking good. I'm going to take him. I'm curious what my team looks like with him as basically my first bench piece. I think he could be a very valuable fantasy piece. Quarterback. So this is the situation that we were in last time, where Tua is still available here in the ninth. After Tua, Anthony Richardson's not making it back. Like both these guys would get scooped up in the next picks. There's multiple teams that still need a quarterback, and with a guy like Anthony Richardson, even a team that has a quarterback, he's going to be on a lot of two QB teams because of his potential to break out. So, and I get to stack him with Tyreek Hill. So I actually like drafting Tua in this draft a little bit more than I'd like drafting him last draft. So Tua in the ninth, I'm happy with that. Obviously, you're concerned about the injury, but that's what that's when a trade could happen. Streaming, there's all kinds of options to solve that. But as for going into week one, give me that Tua Tyreek stack. It was deadly last year. So that's it. Going to round out our starting lineup. We're basically going into our last four picks, just looking to add depth. And Nick's a very big component of when you're adding depth, you want to shoot for guys with very high upside. I 100% agree with that. I hold on. Got a notification on my watch that threw me off. Nick likes to shoot for guys with 100% upside. I do agree with him to a certain extent. I do think that there is something about grabbing a couple of safe players that, not safe, because when you get down here, no one's really safe, but players that you think are more likely to be safe than just constantly going for guys that just have nothing but upside. And that didn't really come off very smooth, but oh well. It is what it is. I like Kendra. It's a little too early. Lazard, Mitchell, Jacoby. Interestingly enough, Jacoby may be someone who's fantasy valuable this year. I mean, we'll see what happens in Las Vegas, but Jimmy G's game's never been to pass the ball, really deep like Devontae prefers. So I could just see him getting some work. This is a tough pick for me. I mean, I want to pick guys with decent upside. Damian Harris, I get it, but just don't really care. I mean, Chig's a guy who's sticking out if I didn't go early tight end. Like if I would have went Pollard instead of Andrews or something like that, or an Olave instead of Andrews, would have loved to grab Chig here. But I don't know. I don't really like building two tight end teams if I grabbed one like a Mark Andrews. Like a Chig is going to have to become so far and better than Mark Andrews that I feel comfortable playing him. All right, we got to settle this. Just playing the ADP game a little bit too. All right. I just don't really love adding Damian Harris. I just don't. Like it does absolutely nothing for me. Ah, man. All right. We're going to do it just to go ahead and see who goes. Jones, Beckham, Lazard, Kincaid, Okonkwo, Komet. Ooh, nice little tight end run. Okay. So, didn't really eliminate that many guys. There's still going to be a lot of the same names up here. My thing is, like, Jacoby, I just, like, he's such an easy person to drop if he's not involved in week one. But he's coming from New England to that system. So, let's see what it looks like with Jacoby on the team. See what we can build. So last time in day one, we went 2 QB. We ended up snagging Kyler Murray at the end of the draft just to kind of give ourselves motherfucker. Man, I was really hoping for Sky Moore there in the 12th round. I would have been pumped about that. Rashee Rice, I understand some hype around him, but I I just want second year wide receivers for the Chiefs. Like there hasn't been really a rookie wide receiver for the Chiefs that has done anything special in a while. So let's see. Who can I snag at the running back position? Way too low. Darnell Mooney's still out there. Mingo's still out there. I know I'm gonna grab another wide receiver at the end. So I'm gonna force myself to take running back to build a more balanced team. Don't want another Miami piece. I don't really believe in Jalen Moore. I don't believe in Tank Bigsby. You know what? Give me a guy who may potentially be able to win a job, and give me the Roshan Johnson from Chicago. Just a dart throw running back that may end up, taking away some starting carries there. And my wide receiver that I want to end a lot of my drafts with fell to me. Like I just said in the first time, in the first mock draft, Romeo Dobbs just has way too much positive news coming out about him right now for him to be ignored in fantasy drafts. So let's take a look at the starting lineup. At the quarterback position, we only drafted one this time, and that was Tua. Then we tagged Tua here with Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Treylon Burks, Quentin Johnson, Jacoby Myers, and Romeo Dobbs. Love that wide receiver core. I think we got two at the top to absolutely lead us. And then we got one, two, three, four guys at the bottom that any of them could become a top target on their team. Jacoby Myers, not really realistically without Devontae Adams wanting a trade or leaving or with some situation like that, but there is a chance that we get something there. The running back room: Ramondre Stevenson, Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, complete dart throw, but if it hits, it hits. Damian Harris, and look at the running back. I don't know about Dalvin, but Connor or Madison is an easy auto select there for me. And then we have Damian Harris and Roshan Johnson. And then in the tight end room, we have Mark Andrews. So this is what my team looks like when I went Andrews in the third. Like I said, when I'm at the fourth, I love that pick, and I love the chance of getting Andrews at the 3.4. I think that's an absolute value. And I'm not going to lie, if I'm drafting out of the fourth spot, I would be ecstatic about this team. I'm much happier about this team than I think I would be about my day one team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Again, this is day 2 out of the 45 days of mock draft, so plenty more coming. A lot of content coming your way from the FanTC Football Podcast. So make sure to subscribe on your podcast platforms, YouTube. Check out the Facebook, check out Twitter, Threads, whatever we can be on, we're going to be on. Peace out, everybody.